Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to the C-Jack podcast. This is your host, C-Jack, and I'm gonna just kind of wing this thing this week, and we're gonna see how this goes. I don't have any notes taken down for the podcast this week. I'm just gonna kind of wing it, and I'm sorry if my audio sucks a little bit. I'm not sitting at home in my apartment. I am actually doing this while I'm kind of out and about, so my traveling gear isn't all I wish it was. And I just, bad mistake on my part. I walked out of the house and forgot my mic, or the mic I normally use. So I'm using some traveling gear that I have, and we're gonna make this podcast work for us. All right, so before we get into things, I just want to throw another disclaimer out there. This is a podcast made for fans, only fans, and made by a fan, free for you every single week, right here on Castbox, or if you're listening to my YouTube, right here. Like, share, subscribe. Hope you enjoy. And I am in no way affiliated with WWE and or predecessors. And with that being said and done, let's get into the podcast, should we? Alright, we're going to be talking about a few things this week. We're going to talk about the Conor McGregor fight versus Floyd Money Mayweather, and what the results of that was, and how all the hype leading up to it, if it was too hyped, or if the hype, if it really lived up to the hype. We're going to talk about a little bit about Raw and Smackdown, and I'm not going to talk about the whole show. I'm just going to hit key points, stuff that really stood out to me. Like I said, didn't take any notes, so it's going to have to come straight from my memory. So, yeah, that's what we're going to go to, and I'm going to talk about a couple video games I've tried. I tried the Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale series, and I've tried Uncharted Lost Legacy. I've actually beat that game. We'll get into that later on in the podcast. But before we do, we're going to talk about Conor McGregor, Floyd Money Mayweather, and the fight that happened last Saturday night. If you didn't catch it, I highly recommend you going back, watching it. I'm sure you could probably, even if you watch the highlights, I'm sure the highlights are going to justify it, because the first half of the fight was kind of slow, just because Mayweather didn't really throw a lot of punches. Mayweather was basically just letting McGregor wear himself down. Mayweather knew this from the beginning. McGregor has never been in an actual boxing match before. He's only been in UFC fights. UFC fights are five 3-minute rounds. Hang on, let me research that. It's either 5 or 5-3. I'm fucking having a brain fart, and I'm sorry about this. UFC fight rounds. Bear with me one moment, folks. I am actually not going to even edit this one this time. I'm not going to go out edit any long silences at all. My computer's actually working out pretty well. So, alright, let's see. UFC, Wikipedia. If it's on Wikipedia, it's got to be right? In school, they always told me never to trust Wikipedia, but I never listened. I think I did almost all my book reports from Wikipedia. Just a little FF fun fact there for you. Let's see. It's talking about 2014. A bunch of blah, blah, blah. I just want to know rules, and I don't care about the... Oh, here we go. Well, there is a There's a minute rest period between 2 rounds. I didn't know that. Between each round, I didn't know that. So that's kind of cool. Let's see. Round length. There we go. Yeah. I was right the first time. 5-minute rounds. That's what I thought it was. I just wanted to double check myself on that. I know it took a little bit, guys, but I'm sorry. But I wanted to double check my information. I didn't want to give you guys false information, and I know some of you guys are probably listening to this and being like, man, he's a fucking dumbass. He don't know how long UFC rounds are. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't constantly watch UFC. It's not one of my go-to sports, if you will. I mean, I try to keep a little bit up to date on it, and there's some stuff in the UFC that I do follow, like certain fighters, like, for instance, CM Punk. He was one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and if he were to have another fight, yes, I would watch it. Same thing if Brock Lesnar were to go back to UFC and have another fight, I would probably watch that as well, because Brock Lesnar is a fucking beast, and he can really tear somebody up. Anyway, so Money Mayweather knew that McGregor had only been in a fight that lasted up to 25 minutes to that point before. So he knew after 25 minutes, Mayweather was going to start getting fatigued, tired, and he was going to start letting his guard down. And, man, sure enough, fucking around 10, Mayweather goes in there, pop, 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 starts throwing them punches, and McGregor lets his guard down. Ref calls it by TKO. Mayweather retires 50-0. McGregor walked away with a loss. Although, I wasn't really upset to see McGregor walk away with a loss, because both of these guys are great fighters in their own right. And I gotta say, I never really expected McGregor to walk into boxing and walk out with a win, because, I never really expected McGregor to walk into boxing and walk out with a win, because Mayweather is literally the best boxer and has been the best boxer of his generation. And nobody's been able to touch him for how long now? Exactly. So, sorry guys, I had to take a drink. Alright, so, that's kind of the whole situation there. Now, if it was reversed and Mayweather would have stepped into the octagon, which we all know it wouldn't happen, but if it would have, I would have had to expect McGregor to win, just because Mayweather's not in his element. You take a guy out of his element, then the guy that's used to the element is more expected to survive and overcome. The guy out of his element isn't expected to adapt as well as the guy that is in his element, and especially if he's the best of all time, arguably, or at least the best of his generation in said element, just in any kind of situation, boxing, wrestling, UFC. If he's the best, then a guy that's not used to it isn't really. It's a little bit of a long shot, is what I'm trying to get at, guys. But enough of that. Let's go on to some WWE stuff. Why don't we? Something that really stuck out to me was for Raw. I gotta say, the thing that stuck out to me the most was the whole Roman Reigns, John Cena thing. And everybody on the internet is talking about this. So I'm not going to try to lag on it too long, just because everybody's talking about it. But I gotta say, John Cena calling out Roman Reigns when he forgot his lines was some funny shit. And I'm excited to see this match. And guys, I gotta say, as far as No Mercy goes, it is going to be the best non-main best pay-per-view WWE's put out for a long time, and it's not even one of their main pay-per-views. And what I mean by that is it's not one of the big four. And for those of you who aren't completely familiar with WWE or are new to WWE or don't know what I'm talking about by Big Four, the Big Four is SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania. Those are the Big Four. WrestleMania is the biggest of them all, but the other three are important as well. SummerSlam and WrestleMania are probably the two most important, and then you got Survivor Series and Royal Rumble, which I'm hoping this year they bring the Survivor Series back to what it should be, because the last few years, I'm going to be honest, SummerSlam has fucking, not SummerSlam, the Survivor Series has fucking gone downhill. So hopefully we bring that shit back. And bring some pride and joy back to the SummerSlam name, baby. Or Survivor Series name. God damn it, I keep fucking that up. Alright. So I'm going to try this one more time, and we will see if we can do it right. We're going to bring some pride and joy back to the Survivor Series, baby. And have some Survivor Series matches. Ooh, yeah. There's a little bit of shitty Dusty Rhodes impersonation. Anyway, so that one really stuck out to me, and the fact that they're going to be doing Cena, Reigns, No Mercy, that is a main event card on its own. That one will sell tickets on its own. But then that's not all, folks. That is not all for this pay-per-view. Then on top of that, you're going to get Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. But here's the thing. Here's my opinion on this. They got to be careful not to overbook Lesnar, because Lesnar's one of those guys that you only want to bring back every so often. Yes, I understand he's champion. Yes, I understand the champion should defend his title within every 30 days. And yes, I know they say there's that rule, but there's a lot of times where we don't see a championship get defended within that 30 days, which goes to prove it's all a fucking work. But anyway, I would really like to see Lesnar lose the championship at No Mercy, just because I would like to see Strowman pick it up. Here's my prediction. I would like to see Strowman pick up the championship at No Mercy, turn around and have Strowman hold it for a while, or if not, have Reigns and Strowman go back at it, because their feud has never really completely finished. Go back at it one more time. Winner claims championship, and then possibly having either Samoa Joe or Cena versus the champion at that point. No. Actually, forget I even put Cena in there. I'm not knocking Cena, but Cena's been the main event picture too much, and I would like to see somebody else get a chance at this championship. I'd like to see either Samoa Joe or Finn Balor go for the championship sometime down the road soon. So what I would suggest for WWE Creative to do, and this is just kind of my thought on it, and if I was booking the show, this is how I would do it. I would have Brock drop the title to Strowman, maybe do a rematch down the line. Then I would have Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor. Winner of that, which I'm not really going to say which one should be the winner, because that's a hard decision. I'm kind of leaning toward Joe at this point, but that's only because I think Joe Strowman would be a better match for a championship than Balor Strowman, just because Strowman is such a big guy, and having a guy the size of Balor, if he were to beat Strowman for the title, might kind of make Strowman might kind of stop any momentum Strowman has, like right in his tracks. You could probably have Joe beat Strowman for a championship and not so much affect Strowman as far as momentum and as far as being over and everything else. You could probably have Joe defeat Strowman without hurting him as far as his career, career wise. Same thing, and not having to regain popularity or anything. Same thing as having Strowman beat Lesnar. Strowman could beat Lesnar, be believable, and Lesnar could still come back later on at a bigger pay-per-view, possibly either Survivor Series, SummerSlam, and whoever's champion at that time. I'm hoping maybe Joe come here. Here's an even better thought. Strowman beats Lesnar for title. Strowman holds said title for a while, eventually faces Joe for the title. Joe wins it, holds it and holds it until Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble comes around. Have Lesnar come back and face Joe for the title. That would sell fucking tickets. Joe versus Lesnar, Royal Rumble 2018. Or if you're thinking even more long term, you could have these guys, you could have them come back, and you could actually have a triple threat. Now bear with me on this. A triple threat at Royal Rumble. Strowman, Joe, Lesnar. Winner of that is champion, obviously. And then the two losers fight on Raw or whatever have you. Then the losers, the winner of those would become number one contender, and face champion at WrestleMania. There's your long-term booking for right there for Lesnar, Joe, Strowman, and possibly even throw from Finn Balor in there somewhere. But I could also see them putting the IC championship on Balor too, and that would work. But then again, we might end up seeing. Here's another thing I almost forgot to talk about, guys. We might actually see Jeff Hardy win the championship this Monday night coming on Raw. He did win the fucking. He won that Battle Royal last week. Jeff Hardy might be your new IC champion come 10 o'clock Central Standard Time on Raw Monday night. Which I think would be smart in WWE's part, because I would actually like to see Jeff Hardy regain a championship, and that would actually help boost Hardy Boys. Because and here's something that would really boost Hardy Boys and Jeff Hardy as both a tag and a singles competitor. Have Jeff Hardy and the Hardy Boys at the same time. Jeff Hardy holds IC championship, and Hardy Boys hold tag championships. That would be cool. That would be cool. And not that Hardy ever needs any help getting over, because Hardy's over. He's been over. But then whoever beats Hardy for the IC championship that would help their career out. And then maybe the guy that could beat Hardy would be that up and comer Elias Sampson. He's actually a pretty good competitor. I'll give it to him. I just wish he would drop the whole singing gimmick, or at least do a little bit better with it. I don't know. Just it's not my cup of tea. Maybe that's just what it is. Jason Jordan, wouldn't mind seeing him on a title run sometime soon either. But I think that's about all I'm thinking about on Raw for right now. Well, then again, I'm excited. I'm trying to figure out how long they're gonna have Rollins and Ambrose hold the championships. So good things to come. Good things to come. Then again, now that I'm thinking about this, like I said, this is completely unscripted, no notes. Everything's kept popping in my head. So I'm talking to you guys, and this shit's popping in my head. And as it pops into my head, that's when I'm going to talk about it. And that's what's going to make this one fun. All right, here's an even better idea, guys. What if you got Finn Balor and you got Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson all on Raw together? Do something with Balor. Give him a reason to turn heel. If he turns heel, him, Gallows, and Anderson could reform. I know you guys know where I'm going with this. They can form a version of the Bullet Club. Obviously, they're not going to be able to call themselves a Bullet Club, considering copyright issues and everything. But part of the original Bullet Club will actually be together now on Raw. Excuse me, guys. So part of the original Bullet Club will be together on Raw now, or is together on Raw, and they will all actually be together. And then you could actually have Balor hold a championship, whether it be IC. Balor might even be able to work as a cruiserweight. I don't want to see him work as a cruiserweight, but he might possibly fit in that. I mean, they're trying to boost his fucking cruiserweight division so much, so can't fucking put anything past them right now. But give Balor a championship. Give Gallows and Anderson championships after they become club. And you got yourself some solid booking for months to come there, good boy. Vince, I hope you listen to this, because this shit is gold I'm spitting out to you. This shit right here is what the fans want, and I guarantee you do this shit right here, the tickets are going to be selling, your pockets are going to be lining with money. And I know there's one thing you talking, that is money. I know you like that money, 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 money. So Vince, hope you're listening, and you might even actually gain some fucking viewers to your network. All right, enough of my plug trying to sell this to Vince. We're gonna talk about SummerSlam a little bit now. With SummerSlam, I got SummerSlam on my mind, guys. Evidently, we're gonna talk about Smackdown now. Smackdown Live. It was alright. It was alright. There's not a whole lot I want to talk about on SmackDown Live. There's only a couple things really that really stick out to me. And that's shit, sorry guys. The only thing that really sticks out to me as far as SmackDown Live is Shelton Benjamin made his in-ring return with Chad Gable. That's a solid tag team I could see working out. And I'd actually like to see them eventually get the SmackDown tag titles. Hopefully the way they book that is I mean, I know they're going to have Usos and New Day against each other at this next pay-per-view. But hopefully this will be the last one where they face each other for a little while. Because it's not getting boring, because really those two teams could face each other every single night and not get boring, just because they always come up with new stuff and creative ways to entertain the fans. But my thing is you don't want to overbook it, you don't want to oversell it, and because if you book it too much all at once, then it's going to lessen your chances for stuff down the road. So I would like to see this be the last time they face each other for a little while, because their tag team division, it's always got that accordion effect, if you know what I mean. It gets smaller and then it gets bigger, and then it gets smaller again and then it gets bigger. So you never know. I mean, there's times where you got just a handful of teams, like 3 or 4 teams, and then there's times that tag team division where you've got the teams you got now. You got a lot of teams right now, and I'm glad that tag team division is coming back. But eventually it will start shrink. It will, if you will, shrink wrap again, and then it'll get bigger again. You know, there's always talent coming in and out. WWE's a revolving door, guys, constantly bringing people in and taking people out. All right. So with that little rant going after that little rant, what I would like to see is this be the last time Usos and New Day face each other. I wouldn't mind Usos keeping the championships, because I think Gable and Benjamin against Usos could be a potentially good match. But I could also see New Day versus Shelton Benjamin and Gable being a good match. So either way, I could see both of them. You know, I wouldn't be upset if they booked it like this. The winner of this match, obviously, one of these teams keeps the championships. At this point, I talked myself into it. I don't really care who keeps championships coming up at this next pay-per-view. But what I would like to see them book as would be Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin versus either the losers of this match coming up for the number 1 contender spot. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin winning the number 1 contender match, and then going on to face the champions. That would actually be some pretty good TV, and then go on to face some other tag teams on Smackdown. I think. I'm not sure if Rhino and Slater are still on SmackDown or not. I wouldn't mind seeing Gable and Benjamin versus Hardy Boys at some point either, which I know right now they're on two separate shows, but that would be a good show at some point. But that's one of the few things that stuck out to me. The only other thing that really seemed to stick out to me is that obviously Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon are going to have a feud. It never seems to fail. Every time you turn around, Shane McMahon's trying to get in a feud with somebody. And he's not that great of a wrestler. I mean, I know Chris Jericho's talked about it a few times about how much he sucks as a wrestler. But I will say Shane's kind of entertaining when he gets in the ring. But he's getting up there, and Shane, you're not a wrestler. You're supposed to be a commissioner. I want you to commission and let the wrestlers wrestle. And it always seems like he's always trying to go after the top guys. I mean, it's Shane, so that's obviously who he's going to go after. But you know, being a McMahon, but it just seems I feel bad for these top guys. I mean, Kevin Owens, he's a great competitor. He's a great wrestler. He's got a very average build, a very average looking guy, and he does some amazing things in that ring. It shocks the hell out of me every time. And I can actually say I'm a huge Kevin Owens fan. He's a great heel. He's got amazing ability, and honestly, I think the Kevin Owens AJ Styles matches were actually pretty goddamn entertaining. And I would actually like to see Kevin Owens versus Nakamura at some point. That would actually be kind of cool. There's actually a few people that I wouldn't mind seeing Owens facing. I wouldn't mind seeing maybe Corbin doing a face turn at some point, and Kevin Owens versus Baron Corbin. That might actually be a good match too. There's just a lot of different things, but yeah, obviously Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon are going to be having a feud coming up. Owens this last week on Raw interrupted a match versus Corbin and no, it wasn't Corbin, and it was Aiden English and Sami Zayn, of course. Sorry guys, had to yawn. And what Owens did was he just inserted himself in the match. He literally pulled the shirt off of the ref, put the shirt on him, did the pop-up powerbomb to Zayn, had English pin him, quick 1, 2, 3 for Aiden English to get the win. So that's, and later on in the night, Shane addressed it and everything, and that's why I'm saying it's obvious. Shane and KO. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. That's why I'm saying obviously Shane and KO are going to be having a match at some point. So that's that's really what's going on in WWE. That's coming right off the top of my head. Some great stuff. Some great stuff looking forward to in the future. Obviously, WWE really needs ratings and is really striving to get those subscriptions to the network because they're cranking out some good fucking matches for this No Mercy pay-per-view. Without it being one of the big four, they got some damn good matches going to be on there, and I'm excited to see it. Great time to be a wrestling fan. Not only a WWE wrestling fan, just a wrestling fan in general. New Japan's cool. I catch Impact Wrestling from time to time. I don't catch it a lot. That's why I don't talk about it on here because most of the time, by the time I get around to actually watching it, I'm normally like 2 or 3 weeks behind. So that's normally why I don't talk about Impact Wrestling. But guys, I'm telling you, Impact Wrestling is actually very entertaining. And just to let you guys know how far back I am. Last time I watched Impact Wrestling, the last time I was able to actually catch it and everything, and watch a little bit of it, the last episode I left off on, it was right around the time where they were trying to force Alberto El Patron to join LAX. It was like the episode after that, to where. So it's been a few weeks. I'm probably about a month behind right now, if not further. I mean, right now, Alberto El Patron suspended and everything, so that's how I know I'm pretty far behind. But so that's why I don't talk about it. Lucha Underground's also pretty good, but again, like I said, I don't talk about that one either because I normally end up with Lucha Underground. I normally end up at least one season behind. I honestly couldn't even tell you the last time I watched the current version of Lucha Underground. I know it's on Netflix, and I've watched the episodes on there, and they're actually very entertaining. And New Japan, I'm the same way. I try to watch it, but normally I end up a little bit behind on it. A lot of times, the reason why I don't talk about these is because I'm so far behind. If I watch a match that I think is absolutely amazing, I write it down, and toward the end of my podcast, I say, "Hey guys, go watch this match. You can find it right here," and I do the research to find the match for you. You know, put it on YouTube, find it on YouTube, find it on Dailymotion, wherever. But if I find a match that I watch and I think it's absolutely amazing, I'm going to tell you guys about it. I'm going to say, hey, if you haven't seen this match yet, go back and watch it. I mean, it may be a month behind, maybe from a month ago. It may be from a fucking year ago. I'm always going back and watching old wrestling. I mean, I may find something. I've been kind of going back, and like I said, I got the network. I've actually got a 3 months free right now. I don't know how the hell I managed to do that, but I did. And I've been going back, and I've been going back to through their archives, and I've been watching some of the original Raws, from like back in the early 90s, like 95, 93. And if I find something that I think is actually truly amazing, and if I find a match to where my eyes are completely glued to the television set and I can't look away for even a second, or if I find something that I think is really cool, even if it's just like a little promo or a segment or something like that, I'm going to tell you guys, go back and watch it. If I find it interesting, somebody else out there is going to find it interesting, funny, whatever, too. So if I find something, I'll let you guys know and tell you guys to go watch it. I'll do the research so you find it. And then I'll even post a link down in my description of the video, whether it's on Castbox or it's on YouTube. Most of the time, if I find a match, I'm going to try to find it on either YouTube or Dailymotion, just so you guys know. All right, so great time to be a wrestling fan. You gotta love wrestling. Moving on, plowing ahead, however you want to say it. Let's talk about a little bit of video games, shall we? Like I said, I played the Telltale series, Guardians of the Galaxy. I know this game has been out for a little while. I actually just got sat down and played it. Was able to sit down and play it just earlier this week. Not quite 100% through the first episode. Been kind of busy. What I played, it's pretty good. Pretty interesting. Pretty good. It's a lot different from most Telltale games. Seems like you got a little bit more freedom to walk around and to do stuff. You got a little bit more controls with this one. It's just real interesting how they did Guardians of the Galaxy. I will say it's oddly weird. It is kind of weird knowing that the same guy that voices Rocket also voiced Deadpool in the Deadpool game. That one just sounds. I don't know. I can't shake every time I hear Rocket talk. I hear the Deadpool voice, the guy because he's using the same voice he did for Deadpool as he is for Rocket. I don't mind the same actor doing it, but sometimes when you hear that same voice, it just kind of awkward and kind of weird, especially when you got a psychopathic mercenary or ex-mercenary in Deadpool, and then you kind of have kind of a psychopathic raccoon. I mean, he's robotically engineered. He's he's a smart ass. He's got a mouth on him, just like Deadpool. So I mean, that's just kind of one of those things to where it's just a little weird and a little awkward there for me anyway. That's only my perspective. Some people may not have that perspective. One game I ain't tried yet that I'm hoping I'll be able to try here really soon is Life is Strange Before the Storm. That game looks pretty good. I haven't quite had a chance to check it out. If you have and you like it, dislike it, whatever your opinion is of it, go ahead and post it down in the comments below. Get a hold of me, post it on Twitter, whatever. And let me know whether it's even worth checking out. I mean, I'm kind of curious. I mean, it looks good, and I like the first one. I was a big fan of the first one, but if you tried it, you were a fan of the first one or whatever, and you like it, let me know. If it's not your cup of tea and you tried it and you're like, it's alright, or not for me, let me know. Let me know what you think about these things, guys. Everybody's got their opinion, and hey, sometimes I like to hear it. Again, you ever got any questions for me? Go ahead and post them either down in the comments below show or post them on my Twitter page, which you can find at only1cjack at Twitter. And my YouTube is, I believe my YouTube handle is cjack. That one may be only one cjack as well. I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure my YouTube page is just cjack though. I know if you look up cjack podcast, my page pops up. Then I also played the Uncharted Lost Legacy. Played this game, beat this game all within a day. It's up to you if you really want to buy it. I mean, if you could do the multiplayer stuff, I would say it's worth a buy. But if you only play it for the story mode, if you don't go back and replay them a whole lot, it might not be worth the buy, but it's going to definitely be worth the rent if you like the story mode for the Uncharted games. Very beautiful game, very beautiful design, amazing graphics. They did a very good job with the story, and I mean, you kind of miss Nathan a little bit in it, but I'm not going to say any spoilers per se, but you do very good with. They did very good putting Nadine and Chloe in the main character roles, and you kind of miss Sully a little bit in it and Sam, but I kind of wish at some point they would have put Sully in it, just to kind of see how that happens, and if you play it, you'll understand what I mean by that. But other than that, it's a good game and definitely worth a rent if you don't want to buy it. Alright, well guys, I'm getting ready to hit the 45-minute mark on this. That's about all I got on this episode. It's kind of a short one, I understand that. But sometimes you guys might just get tired of hearing me flap my gums every once in a while. So sometimes the shorter one's better, right? Alright, well, this has been the CJack Podcast. I am your host, CJack, and remember, keep an eye on that Raw and Smackdown because some good shit's coming. Just remember that. And if you haven't watched the promo between Reigns and Cena, go back and watch it either go back and watch it on Hulu or watch the actual full one on YouTube. But yeah, it's a really good promo, guys. Great shit going on there. Alright, well, until next time, I am CJack. You guys have a good day, and I will catch your ass later. Bye!